I was watching one of G-Man's videos the other day, and he really hit the nail on the head regarding John Fury's behavior. Because John Fury's the kind of guy who comes in the room shouting and screaming, trying to intimidate people into agreeing with him. I mean, he'll literally come in there telling everybody that 2 and 2 equals 12. And if you don't agree, well, he'll give you a slap, you're a hater, you're this, that, the other. He will just stick it on you and try and intimidate you into agreeing with something that you know is wrong, that you know is false. But with some people, this actually works. And Frank Warren does the same, by the way. If you see Frank Warren in interviews, talking to journalists and these various interviewers, he will stick it on them. He'll start getting all belligerent and shouting and talking over them and even insulting them. So Warren is like that. And so is John Fury. They have this bullying attitude when they're in conversation with someone who might not completely agree with them. That's what they do. And with John Fury specifically, it's out and out gaslighting. Just like I said a few moments ago, it's literally 2 and 2 equals 12, doesn't it? I'll have your eye out. You know, that kind of thing. Well, that's not working. The fans aren't going for it. And so Tyson Fury's now come out and tried a softly approach to gaslighting. Because he's now saying that, oh, I don't hate Usyk for avoiding the fight with me. You know, he went to Saudi to take a load of money. I don't blame him. It's a short career. See, the stuff that his dad's doing is not working. He thinks he needs to try a different... No, we see right through it, Tyson. First of all, to address John Fury. So he said that Usyk only wanted to fight Tyson because he thought Tyson was injured. He'd heard some rumor coming out of the Tyson camp that he was injured. But then when he realized Tyson wasn't injured, he scarpered. What a load of absolute rubbish. First of all, this whole thing about Tyson Fury being injured, it was no rumor. It came out of Tyson's own mouth in the ring on television in front of millions of people, right? Or hundreds of thousands of people, whoever bought the pay-per-view. He literally said it in the ring with Usyk sat there ringside on the microphone in the post-fight interview. He said, oh yeah, I've got an injury. I've got this elbow injury and it's going to take 6 to 8 weeks to heal and surgery and all this kind of... So there's no rumor. The man said it out of his own mouth, right? So that's the first thing. Second thing, Usyk already agreed to the fight in Saudi Arabia. That's a fact. Tyson didn't. If Tyson wanted it, Mr. John Fury, why didn't he agree to the fight in Saudi Arabia like Usyk did? That would have been the easiest place to do it. How come your son didn't agree to it in Saudi Arabia and all of a sudden wanted to do it in London for way less money? How does that make sense? So, this guy's just talking absolute rubbish. And Usyk wanted it so much that he agreed to let them move the goalposts and take it from Saudi, where Usyk was very happy with the money he was going to get, to London, where he was getting a far smaller amount. And they were obviously negotiating about the split if the fight was going to be in London. Tyson came out with 70-30, which is outrageous. But Usyk said, okay, yeah, I'll take your 70-30 as long as you donate £1 million to Ukraine. Not only did Tyson not agree to donate the £1 million to Ukraine, but he put another obstacle in the way by saying that they have to remove the rematch clause from the contract. And he lied by saying that it's something Usyk was trying to put in the contract at the last minute, when it was actually Fury's team who put that in the contract originally. I mean, these guys they have no shame when it comes to lying, Tyson and John Fury. And I forgot to even mention the fact that originally, both Bob Arum and Frank Warren said the purse split should be 50-50. So John Fury, again, is just thinking he can bully people and intimidate people into believing the opposite of the truth. Man's having a laugh. And so Tyson Fury's coming out saying, oh, I don't blame Usyk. Yeah, give it a rest, Tyson. If you want the public back on your side, if you want them to stop giving you all this stick in the comments, get in the ring and fight Alexander Usyk. Never mind John Jones and Ngannou and all this nonsense. Get in the ring and fight Usyk. And tell your dad to stop talking all this rubbish about, oh, Usyk needs to apologize or he'll never get the fight. Leave it out. No one's falling for that rubbish, Tyson. The man's half your size. Get in the ring and fight him. It's my opinion that John Fury has some type of antisocial personality disorder. I've done various videos in the past where I've detailed the fact that ever since John Fury came out of prison, he has apparently driven a wedge between Tyson and various people who were previously in his camp. So, for example, when John Fury came out of prison, Tyson was trained by Peter, and he was still associated with Mick Hennessy. Although Hennessy wasn't really actively promoting him, he still had an association and a friendship maybe with him. And so when John Fury came out, after a year or so, however long it was, Peter Fury gets pushed to the sideline and Tyson Fury turns against Peter. and he turns against Mick Hennessy. And then obviously Tyson Fury comes back when he gets his license. He hooks up with Ben Davison. And what then happens? John Fury starts driving a wedge between Tyson Fury and Ben Davison. And early on, John Fury was playing Mr. Nice Guy with Ben Davison. Oh yeah, Ben's great, this, that, and the other. But it didn't take long for him to start saying, Ben doesn't know what he's doing, like that. And then Ben's out the door. Then he hooks up with Sugar Hill, same thing. He's like, oh yeah, Sugar Hill's great. John Fury, that is. Yeah, Sugar Hill's great. Didn't take long for him to start trying to drive a wedge between Tyson and Sugar Hill. And he found his entry point to, make the case that Sugar Hill should be sacked when Sugar Hill didn't co-sign Tyson Fury's lies. When he got interviewed and he was asked about whether he's in the UK to train Tyson for the Usyk fight. And he said, no, I'm only here to train Lawrence Okolie. I got my ticket booked already. And this was before the Usyk fight was officially called off. He had his ticket booked to fly back to the United States before the fight got called off with Usyk. So for telling the truth, John Fury said, oh, that's a sackable offense. Because John Fury wants to be the head honcho. He wants to train Tyson, he wants to manage him, and he wants to promote him. I mean, it was only a few weeks ago, he was actually having a go at Frank Warren. He was saying that Frank Warren and Krasuk were conspiring. You guys remember that? Yeah, this is the way John Fury is. The man has some type of antisocial personality disorder. The amount of people this guy falls out with, and he's very manipulative, trying to drive a wedge between Tyson and the various people in his life. But hey, Tyson goes for it. Tyson obviously has a lot of his dad in him. I don't think he's quite as bad as his dad. Tyson is on a one-to-one basis. As I understand it, he's a lot more likable than John. Yeah, John eventually just turns on people. Whereas Tyson isn't quite as extreme, isn't quite as difficult as John Fury. But nevertheless, still got plenty of his dad in him. And he obviously takes his dad's word for certain things. It's going to be interesting to see if he does get rid of Sugar Hill. And by the way, John Fury's latest comments about Sugar Hill, where he says, oh, look what he did with Lawrence Okolie. He got him beat. And look what happened with Tyson when he fought Deontay Wilder. Where was Sugar Hill's great skills as a trainer then? Well, what John Fury forgets to mention is the second fight that Tyson had with Deontay Wilder, where he looked tremendous. And that was under Sugar Hill's tutelage. That was with a Sugar Hill strategy. That was with classic Kronk technique. That wasn't hit and hop it stuff. That was classic Kronk. And in the third fight with Deontay Wilder, Sugar Hill didn't have the amount of time that he wanted with Tyson. He clearly wasn't in the same kind of shape as he was in the second fight. And on top of that, he apparently had some type of elbow injury, which is why he wasn't able to extend his right hand and maintain the kind of distance that he maintained in the second fight. So, all this stuff that John Fury's saying about, oh, Sugar Hill's basically making Tyson worse. It's not quite that straightforward. So, and of course, he trained Tyson for the Dillian Whyte fight. That was a punch-perfect performance by Tyson Fury. I mean, he literally couldn't have done any better against Dillian Whyte in terms of tactics and technique, range control. If you want to see an absolute perfect example of how you beat Dillian Whyte, go and watch Tyson Fury doing it. It was literally punch perfect, and that was with Sugar Hill. But John Fury doesn't want you to look at any of that because, just like with Peter, just like with Ben Davison, he wants that job. He wants to train Tyson. The man is a megalomaniac, thinks he's the king of the universe. So, yeah, anyway, I will leave it there this time. Let me know what you guys think about all this in the comment section below. Are you sick and tired of the mainstream mindset? Does the dogmatic conformity and pathological ignorance have you tearing your hair out in frustration? Then don't be alone. Come and join our brotherhood on Patreon. We stand as a beacon of reason against an army of insanity. You'll gain access to my weekly topical podcast, where we take more deep dives than Jacques Cousteau on an endless variety of subjects. There's also videos, interviews, live Q&As, as well as a vast back catalogue of previous episodes, including my popular Confessions of a Nightclub Bouncer series. You can listen via the Patreon app or download in high-quality MP3. Connect with myself and hundreds of other members in our Element chat group. There's no contract, no commitment, you can cancel at any time, and it's cheaper than a Mickey D's McMuffin. Just head to my Patreon page via the link below this video and select the tier called the Brotherhood of Reason. I'll see you over there.